everybody, happy Thursday afternoon. Welcome to my weekly mindset show for you. Today we're going to look at 3 top tips for being uber productive. I mean super productive, so that you can create your week exactly as you want it to. So that's what we're going to do today. Drop a hey in the comments if you're here live, and just pop a hey, a replay in as well if you're catching up later on. I know there's a few of you going to catch up later on today. So hope you're all having a fabulous week so far. I know that I'm running my 6-week coaching program at the moment, and we're at week 5, and it's just going so well. So we're having a fabulous week. So I'll tell you all about that as well. Hey Chantel, so lovely to see you. So glad that you've made it. It's a great one for you today. I hope you enjoy it. So lovely to see you. So one of the things that we're doing in the Accelerator program, the coaching program at the moment, where we're on module 3, and it's all about kind of up leveling and growing. And one of the things that seems to sort of come up that's in that module but seems to come up all the time is really about productivity and the best way to kind of structure your week, because these are actually habits that we have to form. So getting organized and planning ahead, they're success habits that we want to create. It's called the Mega Success Mindset Accelerator for a reason. It is about creating being super successful, and to do that we create some habits in there, because you won't be able to attract that abundance and the freedom that you want, that I know that's what you kind of want in your life, if you're not aligned, if you're not in alignment energetically. So how many times do you look at your to-do list? Just pop in the comments here, but how many times do you look at your to-do list and just get completely overwhelmed by it? And then you're just thinking, well, what do I do? What is there to do? Or, how about you get to a Monday morning and you kind of, you're in work, or you roll downstairs in your home office like me, and you just think, well, what the heck am I supposed to be doing today? What am I working on today? Now, you crave that kind of freedom in your life and living your life on your terms, but do you actually often feel as if you're working harder and longer than ever, longer hours than ever? And it's not actually the life that you're supposed to be creating. And you kind of think that there's never enough hours in the day, and I kind of often get to the end of the week and think, where's my week gone? Where's it actually disappeared to? It's time now. It's time for us to actually start putting ourselves first, and doing the things, we want to create this life, don't we? So it's about actually creating the life on our terms now. So just let me know in the comments if any of those ring true for you, that you're actually thinking, how can I be productive? What's the best system for me to actually be using? And just pop that in there, because, we want you to now start consciously creating the life and business that, is your desired lifestyle, is actually what you want to be creating. Your plan, what you're dreaming about. I see so Chantal, you used to have a massive to-do list, but you have started breaking it down into the smaller chunks. Brilliant. I'm going to show you go through another top tip today that's going to take that even further, because I know that in a previous one we talked about the chunking one as well. It's so overwhelm is one of the biggest things that I see ladies with, and it does stop us actually moving forward. I've got a bit of hair sticking up there. I'm debating at the moment, let me know what you think, but I'm debating actually having my hair chopped off to shoulder length. So let me know what you think. I did a poll yesterday, and it's really kind of starting to be a bit 50-50, so it's not helping me a great deal, although it is swinging toward the chopping off bit. So let me know what you think. Okay, so Chantal, you have a 1-3-5 technique that I sometimes follow, and you're also accountable to a group. Yeah, I'd love to know what your 1-3-5 technique is actually, Chantal. Pop it in the comments later. That'd be great. And yeah, the accountability is really key. And that's one of the things that I love about running my coaching program, is the accountability element of it. It does, it spurs you on, it inspires you, doesn't it? So that's fantastic as well. So I see amazing, oh, okay, sounds like it would be lovely. You've had the big top as well, Anne-Marie. Okay. Right, well, let me know, because I'm booked in next Friday, so let me know what you think. So yours feels much lighter. I'm really debating. I think it'll do me good to kind of have it chopped off to do that, so let me know. So one, the task is important and usually time sensitive. Okay, so it's like the priority order. Very similar to what I'm going to go through, and you may have actually heard of it as well. So yeah, 3, the less important tasks that are good to do. Yeah, it's going to be very similar. It's going to be very similar to kind of what I'm going to go through today for you. I've just probably got it termed a little bit differently for you. So, okay, so what we're going to look at actually is this idea, first of all, of like daily habits. Having, making those tiny changes, as Chantal was saying there, about having the tiny changes actually add up. Oh, okay. Oh, see, that's the point, isn't it? So Chantal, you had your hair chopped off, but now it's too short to tie back, which is a pain. I'm probably going to look at not more than my shoulder, so hopefully we should still be able to tie it up. Because you're right, when you're exercising, you've got to tie your hair up, because it drives me crazy when it actually starts coming through. And obviously my hair's naturally curly, so I have to straighten it to do this as well. So it's what it would look like when it's curly, when I have it curly for when it's shorter. So anyway, I'm digressing. Let me know what you think I should do. So this is all about having some habits that you can actually you're doing to so that it is those small steps to success, because that's what success is. There's a quote, isn't there, that excellence is not an act, it's a habit, and that's exactly what I kind of think. I think we've got to do this, and we're doing things that we want to kind of do as well. There's no point keep on doing stuff that you kind of go, that's not contributing to the life that I actually dream about doing. So every time you're actually doing, an action, just ask yourself, is this really adding to my progress? Or is it taking something away? Is it getting me closer to what I dream about? Or am I getting further away from that? So these positive habits, these positive actions, they turn into positive habits that we, carrying on through, we keep on doing, and that builds up. It's consistency is the key, isn't it? Consistency is key. And for me, we want to actually be focusing on what we can control as well, and so we've got more choice in everything. And this is one of the lessons that I learned that was really, really powerful for me, was saying yes to positive things and adding more good in, rather than actually focusing on things that were depriving me too. So I want you to be focusing on your day, focusing on the day that that with intention, so setting your intention. Okay, Chantal, yours is also curly, so I can't read all of it. So, yeah, so I have to straighten it. I have to straighten mine to get it straight anyway. But you know what? I quite like the kind of wild woman of Wonga look anyway with the curly thing. So I think it'd be fine being shorter anyway. So I'm going to give it a go. I think that's where I'm swaying at the moment. Okay, so it's also really important as well to have what was I saying there? It's also quite important to have balance, and so making sure that you've got the good stuff, and you really are making sure that your life is how you want it to do. So having that balance and making those positive choices there. So put your intention how you want your day to go rather than how you don't want it to go, sort of thing. So once I realised what an impact this was having on kind of what I was achieving in my life, these were game changers. So it's actually structuring something, with habits that actually works for you. And that's the key as well, it's about making sure that you're doing stuff that is your plan and not somebody else's plan when you're doing it. So the first one I want to do is making sure that you are making space for a lifestyle that you've been dreaming of. That is, not what anybody else is saying. This is about what you want to do. And then how much easier it will be for you to be your best when you've created it. If you're waiting for that that someday, someday I'll live a life I love, or, someday I'll do that exercise, or someday I'll take, better care of myself, someday I'll take the week off on the holiday, then you'll be waiting for forever, So there's a saying again, isn't there, that there are 7 days in the week and some day isn't one of them. So make sure then, you've got to start creating it and planning it out how you want it to be. So we've all got the same 24 hours in a day. We've all got 168 hours in a week. So if you want to have the life that you want, you've got to make time for what matters most to you. So you've got to make time for doing the things that you want to do and structuring it and making sure that how you're structuring it is taking you forward. It is giving you that progress. Because I think all too often we get caught up in the the minutiae, don't we, of our to-do list. And then we run out of time for what we really want to do. How many times do we sit spending hours writing emails or Facebook posts or whatever, and then suddenly go, God, I haven't done anything then that's contributed towards my actual goal that I wanted to do today. So, or if you've even found yourself thinking that, you've not even got time to go out and have a walk, or do like for me, I love yoga and exercise. So if you find in yourself then getting frustrated because you're not putting the time that is important for you in your diary, then that's just not going to be conducive to your health and your well-being, for one. So this is the strategy. So it's very similar to what Chantal was saying here, but mine's based on Covey, Stephen Covey's First Things First model. And he talks about a story of a teacher that has a jar, and in that jar, that's the way of representing your life, how you spend your life. So the way most people sort of approach their time is they spend doing the things that aren't important and that adds no value to them. So this might be scrolling through Facebook or surfing the internet, or you get an email pops up, you're doing something, an email pops up and then off you go doing that. That's the way a lot of people actually work. And that's what's in this model. It's represented with water. So he pours all the water into the jar first. Then we do all of the tasks that have to be done, but still these are the ones that don't actually move us closer to our goals. These are kind of like the checking the emails ones that can really turn into busy work, can't they? And that's represented with sand. And then we next have the tasks that, that do help us reach our goals. But they could honestly be, we could actually streamline them or systemize them or, get some additional support with doing those activities, because they're not our zone of genius. They're not the activities that we should be spending 50% of our time in. That our zone of genius should be 50% of our time at least. So this is the stuff that, does keep your business running, but they're not the growth orientated activities, and they're the ones represented with pebbles. So he pours in the water, pours in the sand, and then pours in the pebbles. And so then finally, we've got in this model, we've got the task that, you know, we have to make, you know, we'd love to make more time for. These are our ones that are going to take us forward. These are the ones that are going to help us realise our goals. These are the ones that are the money-making activities, the ones that are going to generate us the life that we want. And, you know, these are your projects, etc., as well as your personal goals, as well as things like spending time with your, you know, your family, looking after your own health and well-being. Now, here's the catch, you know, so that bit there, he represents that with rocks. In Stephen Covey's mentor, or the teacher, he represents that with rocks. Now, here's the thing. When you start filling it up with the kind of you know, the activities that are, you know, the meaningless activities, and we put the water in first, then the sand, and then the pebbles, you simply run out then for the big important rocks. You cannot put your big rocks in there. So if we actually prioritise and we make sure that we put the big rocks in first, you will find that you fit in the pebbles, you can fit in the sand all around it, and then you can fit in the water into the jar. So that's the model that I actually work with. So I start off when I'm doing my planning, we'll come on to planning in a second, but you start off with your big rocks. And these are the things that are important to you. These are the things that are going to move the needle for you. So how do you want your life to be? So map out what are the important big rocks to you. So you're creating your life of design there. You know, these are the things that actually you need to put in your diary before anything else. These are the things that are going to, you know, take you and your business forward. So for me, that includes things like exercise, going for a walk in the morning, doing my yoga class, and I put those in my diary. I put those the space for that in my diary, and that leads us on to self-care, because that's my, you know, my next one to add to these, the kind of the top tips to being uber effective, is you've got to embrace this balance in work and play so that you can love every minute of your day. Self-care is so important, you know, because it influences you and everything in your life. You really are no good to anyone if you've not looked after yourself. So like I said, for me, I know it's important that I get some fresh air and go for a walk. You know, when you're working and living in the same space, you know, you really can get a little bit, you know, it can get a bit claustrophobic. It can get, you know, a bit too much. So let me know if anybody else feels that. Oh, so Chantal, you've seen the jar exercise in a video. It's really great, isn't it, when you can actually see it as the exercise where they're pouring stuff in, because you can see it practically. And that's how I plan my week. That's how I, you know, when I do it. So for me, my big rocks includes my self-care and the stuff for me, the stuff I love doing. It includes putting in things like, you know, going for a coffee with friends, because that's important for me to although we obviously can't do that so much at the moment, you know, is actually making time to, you know, with my friends too. So put that goes in as a big rock. It's about getting a life as well. It's also about making sure you've got time for fun and happiness as well. I think we can get, you know, I know we're all passionate about what we do, but we can get a bit lost, can't we, in that, you know, it's all work and no play. So again, make sure that you're not getting wrapped up in so much in the day-to-day that you're not enjoying the ride, that, you know, you're not creating the space for you to actually enjoy all this fabulous time that you've created for yourself, you know. And, you know, if you're doing stuff and then you just don't have the time to enjoy it. So ask yourself, when was the last time that you did something that you love doing? You know, when was the last time you did something just for fun? You know, again, one of the activities that, you know, that I've got the ladies in my program doing is actually putting in scheduling time for fun. And that is, even if it is, you know, time with the family, time with your loved ones and time with your friends, making sure that you're actually doing things that you love doing. So what do you love doing? Yeah, Chantal, a lot of people do, and that's why I build it in my program. We actually we put those things because sometimes we think it's a little bit silly to put fun in our diary, or it's a bit frivolous to even think of putting fun in our diary. But actually, that is really key to our well-being. Especially if you are running your business or thinking of running your own business, you've got to prioritise your leisure activities. Chantal, what would you do if you didn't do those things? How would you be feeling if you didn't do those things? Because it's really important. So let me know how do you know you kind of neglected the fun stuff? It's so important. And everybody's got their own idea of fun, haven't they? So, whether it's going shopping, or, oh, fabulous, you had, a massage, Zoom lunch with a friend, went to the cinema, meal out. Yeah, absolutely. They're the things that we must schedule in our diary. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But, we will soon start getting to burnout if we don't put those things in. So that's my top tip number 2. And the last thing is, and also I think with that one is to make sure that that's the non-negotiable. When you are actually planning your rocks in your diary, that has to be the stuff that doesn't change, because that's the thing. Your rocks are the things that you put in and you don't move them. Your pebbles are the things that you do put in, but you've got some movability. And then you've got, your sand that, you can kind of do throughout. So it's the stuff you put in either side of those other things. Yeah, your husband told you off for always being on webinars. You can quite so easily. And what would you class those webinars as being? I bet there are some webinars that are, they're nice to have ones. But are they your rocks? So, can you reschedule them? Because if it's a pebble, you can reschedule it. It goes in your diary, but you can move it. It's the rocks that you want them to be in there. They're your money-making activities. They're your self-care activities. They're the things that are going to make your life, create your life on your terms. And then your last thing is to make sure that actually planning... ridiculously, planning is actually a success habit in itself. So make sure you actually do carve out time. So literally plan to plan. Carve out time in your diary each week for you to put your rocks in your diary. So you're actually, I do it on a Sunday. So I make time on a Sunday, and it only needs to be an hour where I actually plan my diary out. And I put all the rocks in. I put in the time, because one of the simplest things that I find I can forget is having lunch. So I make sure I've got having lunch in my diary. Or if you've got clients in and things like, you've got you put your clients in, and you cut my coaching calls. They're my rocks. I put those in, and I do that on a Sunday. So I've got that. So that also means that I don't turn up on a Monday morning and go, what am I doing today? So plan to plan, because what happens if you don't do that? You need to make it become a success habit. Because often what happens is you will plan it, and you'll have a great week because you've got everything mapped out. You've got your rocks, you've got your pebbles, you've got your sand in, you've got it all mapped out. You know exactly what you're doing. And so then you take your foot off the pedal and you don't then plan the following week. And then you end up doing that whole overwhelm thing again, and then you're not as productive again. I need to follow your lead and get better at planning. Yeah, you do a little bit, but on a Sunday, yeah, put it in. It only needs to take an hour, and you might think, well, an hour's quite a long time on a Sunday, but I can tell you it'll pay off tenfold by doing it. You can get really super organised by doing that. And you know what? The relief, when you can see your diary all mapped out and you think, I'm clear and I'm focused, and I also know, what I'm doing each week and what I'm achieving. And then I can also tick them off at the, so I've got, in my diary, I've got my water. I can tick off I've had my water as well through the day. And at the end of the week what your plan was and what you've achieved. So because tracking your progress is really, really super important to your success. Again, if you don't know where you're going, you won't know when you got there. So it's really important that I map that out on a Sunday and I know what I'm doing for the week. And all of this sort of stuff is within my Mega Success Mindset Accelerator program, which the next program will be run from September. So if anybody is interested in getting on the wait list now, because I only have a small group of people in there, because I give them so much support and attention, that I make sure this isn't a big group coaching program. So if you're interested in that, that's not for it's not what I do. My group coaching is that everybody gets their time every week. So I only have a maximum of 10 people in the program. So if you want to get on the wait list, I can pop the link in the comments there to actually get on the wait list now for the next one that comes out in September. So you can secure your place now. Yes, Chantal, you hate how one little task can somehow turn into 5 or more emails, and that's exactly it. So if you're not planning out your week appropriately, and like I said, for me, within the program that I run, it's part of the module 3. It's a big part of it, how you can put in these consistent habits for success, because that's what you need to do. Because otherwise you can end up thinking, how on earth have I just spent 3 hours on something that you've ended up probably going off a tangent on in the first place, that it wasn't even your intended task. So plan it all in and have fun, and you can get super, super productive and effective by doing that. So if you've enjoyed these tips, please put a comment, put them in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from those. And like I said, if you're catching up on replay later, just do a #replay, and so I can pick up on your comments later on as well. Have a fabulous rest of your day, everybody, and I'll catch you again next week for our next mindset show. See you later. Bye.